Hi, my name is Dae'zha, and today we are going to be doing a tutorial for the makeup for Sally from the Nightmare Before Christmas. So this is a really simple look. You don't need a lot of different colors. So first we're just going to start out with a simple just blue, light blue paint. So I have Mayron, it's from the Paradise palette. And that's just what we're going to start out with for our base. So go ahead, just get your brush wet, get your paint wet, and we're just going to go ahead and start from the top of our head, and we're just going to work our way down. So I personally like to bring the paint all the way up to my hairline, just so that it's a nice even color and my natural skin tone is not showing through. Now that I have it all around my hairline, I'm just going to go in with my beauty blender now in the paint, and I'm just going to pat it with my beauty blender all over my face now. Okay, so now we have our base down. A little splotchy like this, it's okay. We're going to go and we're going to fill everything in. But before we continue, you'll notice obviously how my eyebrows aren't covered. So to really make sure that you're able to cover your eyebrows good, you just want to take a glue stick, so any glue stick, plain old Elmer's glue stick will do, and you're going to put that over your eyebrows first. Just going to kind of rub this in a little bit. Make sure it's all over our eyebrows there. Alright, while we wait for that to dry, we're just going to go ahead and start bringing the blue down our neck. So now our eyebrows should be dry, and we can go ahead with the blue paint, and we're just going to go ahead over our eyebrows. Okay, now we're just going to go kind of through how I said, you know, any spots that are kind of, you see your skin peeking through, you just want to go through and fill those a little bit with the paint. And then I'm going to go in and just fill my ears. And anything I have difficulty getting with my sponge, I just go back with my brush. Okay, so once we do that, we're going to go over it with a setting powder. So again, I'm using Mayron's Color Set powder. We're just going to go over our entire face with that. And anywhere if you have put the blue, if you've taken it further down your body, just anywhere that there's blue, you want to make sure you go over it with the color set powder so that it doesn't, the paint doesn't run. Because if it's like mine, and it's a water activated paint, or even a cream paint, the paint, even though it's drying, obviously, is still pretty easy to move around. So. Okay, and now that we have went in with our color set powder, I'm gonna use now my James Charles and Morphe palette. So I'm gonna use the shade Playground. Right here says this nice blue shade. We're gonna use that, and we're just gonna use that kind of as just like a base on top of the base. Go all over the blue. So you see, obviously brightens the blue, brings out more blue. So. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to take that same shade and we're going to go on our eyes now, and we're going to do her eyeshadow. So before I do any eyeshadow, I always like to apply a primer. So I personally use NYX Glitter Primer. I use it for glitter, I use it for eyeshadow, really just anything, it's great. And a little really does go a long way. So just, it's all you need. And then you just want to pat that on your eyelid. Alright, and then we're going to just let that dry down just a little bit. And then we're just going to go in with that same color, Playground, and fill in our eye. So go ahead, other eye, do the same thing. Alright, so now we look a mess with all of our blue. So I'm just going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to go in and just clean up around there, make the lines look crisp, to where it's not all like it is now. Okay, so now we're gonna go back in any spots. If you're like me, we're kind of right here. The blue obviously isn't right there. Just gonna go back in with, I'm gonna use my brush because I don't want to use my beauty blender and wipe off any of my eyeshadow or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go back in with my brush and I'm going to fill those spots. Okay, so now that we are here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give ourselves some eyebrows. So I am going to go in, so all the colors I'm using are going to be from this palette. So I'm going to go in with this darker blue shade here for my eyebrows. And then at the beginning of our eyebrows, we're just going to take the color and we're just going to flick our brush, almost like we're making hairs. So once our eyebrows are done, I'm just going to go in again with my brush and kind of line my eyebrows a little bit. Okay, so now the same color that we use for our eyebrows, we're going to go back in and we're going to use that color to contour. So whenever you're putting that on your brush, you always want to make sure you tap your brush because it'll get rid of any excess and it will make sure that you're not going in with a hard line. If you go in with a lot of powder on your brush, it's going to make a really hard line. It's going to make it very difficult to blend, especially because you do have paint on your face. So make sure that you're tapping that brush after you go in and select your color. So when I contour, I start at the tip of my eyebrow, and then I just kind of go in my nose and I just bring that down. So for Sally, we're going to want to bring that all the way down. Same thing here at the other side. And I'm just bring that all the way down, giving us that appearance of a very slim nose. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to blend this all out. We're going to make a triangle. I'm just going to go all around the nose here. Get that a little bit darker. And again, we're going to blend. Okay, and now that we have our nose done, we're going to go ahead and do our cheekbones. Same thing, that nice dark color, we're going to go in. Make a nice line, and then we're going to buff it out. When you are buffing the contour, do a circular motion and you're going to want to come up. So I like to brush down like this line, and then once I'm blending, blend up into my cheekbone. A little bit, go across the top of our forehead. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take one of our smaller brushes, and with I'm using this color. Nice light blue. I'm go ahead on the bridge of my nose to give it a nice highlighted effect. bridge. Not going to bring it quite all the way down, bring it almost all the way down there, and then right there at the tip of our nose. Okay, now we are going to go back to our paints. This time we're going to be using a white paint. Again, this is Mayron, so I'm just using my Mayron Paradise palette. We're going to go in, and on the underneath of our eye, we're going to make that white. So by doing this, it's going to make our eye look bigger and more cartoonish. Okay, so once we have that completed, we're going to go ahead and with our mascara and just do our top lashes. Okay, so Sally's lashes are kind of like spider lashes. So what I did, I took a pair of my lashes and I just cut them up into little tiny strips, and we're just going to go ahead and place those on our lashes to give that spider effect. So these are what the lashes looked like. I have now cut them into small strips so they all look like this. So just gonna get our lash glue, our lashes. Put our glue on the lashes. You're gonna wait a few seconds to go ahead and let that glue dry down and become tacky. If you don't, it will move on your eye, and that's not what you want. Since that happens, you're gonna go ahead and just place the lash on your eye. So I just started in the middle of my eye there, so you can see we have that one lash peeking through there. And we're gonna go ahead and put one more on the outside, one on the inside. Now I have my spider lashes. There. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so now we have those. You can just run, if you have a spoolie brush, you just run your spoolie brush through them. Make sure they're on there. Okay. So now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and do our lipstick now. So Sally, of course, has red lips. So I am using my Bite Beauty lip pencil in 78. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips now. Alright, and then once we have our lips lined, gonna go in with our lipstick. I'm gonna use Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipstick and Mary Jo K. It's one of my most favorite red lipsticks. It's apocalypse proof. Okay, so now that we have our face done, we're going to go ahead and do Sally stitches. So our first one is going to be going almost through like our eye, if that makes sense. So we're going to go back in to our paints, and we're going to use a black paint. Again, all of the paints I'm using are from the Mayron Paradise palette. So I'm just going to start right at the top here, and we're going to come through. So the easiest way, honestly, probably to do it is to start, I say the middle of your forehead, or if you just take like your brush, because it wants to go through the middle of your eye, and see where you should start there. So for me, it's about the middle of my forehead. Your line does not have to be perfect, so don't worry if it's not. Go back in and make it thicker. Okay, and now that we have our baseline, we're going to go through and we're going to make our stitches. So same thing with the stitches, we're not worried about them being perfect. We will go back in and we will make our lines thicker. So there we have a good baseline. Go back in and we'll make those stitches a little bit thicker now. And you do want to make them a little thick because we will be going back in with white, just to make them pop a little bit. So you want to make sure you're able to put a white line in there. Okay, and now that we have our first set of stitches done, now we're going to go and do our mouth stitches. So starting from the corner, make almost like a smiley face, or like we're meeting our contour there. You obviously don't want it too upturned, but just like it naturally flowing, if that makes sense. As naturally flowing as a stitch could be. Alright, and then now that you have your base there, again, go back in, make those lines thicken up. And same thing, go back in, and now we make our stitches. Alright, so now that our stitches are done, Now that our stitches are done, we're going to go back in just with a smaller brush, and we're going to put some white in it, and that's just going to make our stitches pop a little bit. So we're going to start with our forehead stitches because those are obviously the ones that are dry. And you just want to make just a small, make sure you guys can see it here. It's a very small white line. And we're going to do that with every single stitch. So it's probably one of the most time-consuming parts, but it definitely adds a very cool effect and doesn't make the stitches look so 2D. Last thing that I'm going to do to finish our Sally look, I'm just going to go back in with that light blue that we used to highlight the nose, and I'm just going to go back in on my cheekbones because this is kind of like a glamorized version of Sally. So I'm going to go back in and give myself a little bit of a highlight on the cheekbones. And then I'm going to use the New Moon highlighter by Coven Cosmetics, and I'm going to go back in and just right along the cheekbones, kind of give it that little pop there. A little bit on my nose. Lastly, now that we are finished with the face, we're going to just do one last stitch right across the neck. Fill those with white. Go back in with our color set powder. Thank you so very much for watching my Sally tutorial. You can find me on YouTube at Makeup and Murder, on Instagram at Dae'zha_K_, and on Facebook at Dae'zha.